Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. Giving you a little bit of a gift today, and that gift is my understanding on the theory of minimum viable product. So this is basically a business theory where it's all about how do we take an idea or a concept to market, okay, at the minimum cost in the minimum time frame. So how can we do it as effectively as possible at the lowest cost to us in the shortest time frame so that we can implement. Alrighty. So a little bit of an introduction. What is a minimum viable product? So as a brief description, what we're looking to do is we're looking to identify either products or not, or niches, or different sectors or industries where there is either a problem, okay, that is not being addressed, that is not being solved, or an opportunity for a new product, or opportunity to revamp an old product. All right. So they're just three ways I look at it. But basically what we're looking to do is we're looking to come in and find a way to create something completely different or new that no one else has seen because it's been overlooked. Because generally when things are overlooked, okay, there are simpler, more efficient ways to do it. So when people overlook problems, okay, there's a simple, easy, and efficient way to solve that problem. And that's the goal of MVP, is how do we find those? So for example, I'll give you an example, my shirt brand that I'm creating, okay? There's a niche or an opportunity in fashion for a brand that promotes self-expression, self-love, all of that. Like, there is a need for people to be able to connect emotionally with the brands that they wear, something that makes them feel good internally as well as feel good externally, something that they can be a part of, where they can share who they are with those around them by being associated to that brand. Okay, so that's sort of, so we've seen that that's the opportunity, right? That's where we've seen that there's opportunity to create a niche or a space for us to create now products and offers and things like that. So once we've got that, then it's okay, now how do we, one, communicate to them? How do we offer them the products or create the products to be able to offer it to them? So the key with the MVP products is we want to keep it simple, elegant, or high quality. Okay, so we don't want to overcomplicate it by making too complex of a problem or too complex of a product. What we want to do is we want to have simple, easy, light, fun products, okay, so that we can continuously evolve the concept or the niche. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to build, okay, with the consumers, okay, this experience of going on a journey with us. And where does that journey go? To the next product, from the next product to the next product. You know what I mean? From offer to offer to offer, we're creating new and fun ways to interact with our consumers, okay? And this really allows us to create like an electric or a magnetic energy that will draw people to us, but also light them on fire so that they start drawing people to us. Do you understand it? It's a compounding effect that has a like an exponential growth factor. But the key to this like strategy or implementing it is remaining true to the core values of MVP. Simple, easy, efficient. You know, we don't want to do too much complex stuff. So if we're launching a shirt brand, we don't go out and we don't find manufacturers to do, like, we find the manufacturers, but we don't go out and order 10,000 and then wait for them to come. And then once they come, then we go and try and sell those 10,000. No, we get one shirt, okay, for the core concept, just one product. We go, and then we go in, we sell it, and then we come back and we order. So it's just a different way of approaching it, to where instead of preparing before we do, we get enough, okay, so that we can start doing. And while we're doing, that's when we rapidly prepare. Because once we start doing, that's when we get hit in the face, and that's when we identify all the problems. And the best part is, because we haven't laid down such a large investment, we are risk-free. So we are able to be as nimble as possible, because the only thing that's affecting it, okay, is we're not losing any money. We don't have anything to lose. So it's just, how long does it take for us to hit success? And that's what the failure is. So the failure is all the ways, one, not to do it, but two, it identifies, how do we get there? Is this path right, or is this path right? You know, sometimes we've got to run down the wrong path just to realize that we got to double back and go back. You know what I mean? But it's okay, because we got nothing to lose. So that's what you got to understand, is it's not just about doing things cheap and easy and quick, but it's about having that freedom to take massive risks, okay, and to be able to innovate, create. Like, where everyone else is cautious, you run. And you run not because you're not going to fail, not because you're not going to fall, not because shit ain't going to happen, but you run because, you know, like David Goggins says, it's time to take souls. You know what I mean? Like, while they're all fearful, while they're all constrained by limiting beliefs, you can create anything. And then they will ask you how you did it. So understand, like, this is the power of MVP, is it allows you to, one, in yourself, create this energy where you are electric and on fire, but also what you're able to do is you're able to create a perception, okay? A perception that, like, you've done something so much larger or so much bigger than what it actually is. Because the whole concept is just, how do you, like, front that you have the product, okay? So you front that you have everything and that you're ready to go, and you put a 2-week delay on ordering. So you say, sorry, there's a 2-week delay on the first order. Here's 10 or 15% off your next order as a thank you. Boom, job done. So that's the key, okay? Is you gotta preemptively plan for all of the inefficiencies that are associated with this strategy, okay? So we'll go through the key aspects of this strategy, or this theorem or theory, okay? And it's like I've repeated, like, it's simple, okay? It's easy. We want to minimize decision making so that we can maximize effectiveness, okay? The less decisions to be made, the quicker decisions are made, and the more effective it is. The more time we spend doing what we need to do, opposed to planning for what we shouldn't plan for. Okay, because just remember, where focus goes, energy flows. What you focus on is what you draw and bring into your reality, okay? So if your planning is focused on negative, that's why most businesses fail. If you're focusing on all of the positives, all of the opportunities, you only see the opportunities. If you focus on the negatives, you only see the negatives. You can have a balance in between, but it's also irrelevant, because what are the negatives? You know, if you don't over leverage yourself, if you take calculated risks, okay, if you accept that for the first 2 to 5 years it's a struggle and you're just going to do it because you're doing it regardless of what happens, boom. If you accept living at a lower standard than what you want, while you get what you want, you will get there. That's MVP. It's all about, what do I need to do to be able to get somewhere quick, easy, and efficiently and cheap? You know, how can I do it now opposed to 2 months down the track? Okay, how do I take advantage now? How can I launch a product line? You know, how can I like, innovate in my space? So you can take the MVP model to, for example, like customer service or after sales care. Do you understand? Where you can create this enormous experience, okay? And the whole goal is that like you just get, one experience to show people the experience, and then you go out and you sell it. And you just put a time delay between like when they bought, like when the first person's bought it to when it actually launches, okay? And you have it as a coming soon, okay? What you're able to do is you're able to test the waters. Is this a good idea? Are people receptive to it? You're able to build up pre-orders so that you can get better purchasing power. If it's products, if it's services, you can get better deals, or you can get more exclusive offers, from third-party businesses or anything like that. Like for example, take it as you're a car salesperson, right? And you got a dealership, and you're selling high-end luxury like Mercedes or whatever, right? So one of the things you could do is for the month of June, with every like $100,000 Mercedes bought, we're going to send you away for 2 nights down to Sydney, down to have dinner at a 5-star Michelin star restaurant, and or maybe it needs to be a higher price point for it, or maybe it needs to be a lower quality offer. So it could just be, there's an event on and you're sending them to the event, anyone who purchases it, or something like that, or sending them on a getaway or something. Do you understand? Like if you create that offer, okay, and then sort of, just basically chat to like hotels and all of this and all the people associated, the third parties. What you'll do is you'll be able to build up a relationship with people saying, we can do that, and you can build out and sort of plan the expectations of, okay, if I were to sell, say, 20 cars, so we had 20 of these offers to be done up, what sort of prices are we looking at and all of that. And what you're able to actually see is when you use that as your marketing in terms of promoting it, like if you're getting, so if I was looking to purchase a car and then I see I get a two night like exclusive getaway and something unique and something, that I can't just go out and do. So it could be, going down to the footy or something like that, or something like going on a winery tour, like something that I wouldn't choose to do out of the ordinary, like something that is, just that little bit of luxury, that little bit outside of the day-to-day life, okay? And depending on the products and offers, like if you were selling like Bugattis, like you'd be doing, the most exclusive of the exclusive. If you were selling like, more mid-range cars, maybe you do a different sort of offer where it's either product-based or service-based. So like, for example, for every new Mercedes, you just offer them like 3 years of services, and you work that out, and whatever it costs, you figure out something to where it's around 5% of the purchase price is sort of 5 to 10% is what you want to give back to them in this new product. So if it's $100,000 car, you want to sort of have a package that's around the $10,000 price point. And then what you do is you offer it to them at, say, 4 to 5,000, and then it's a marketing strategy that costs you 5,000 per sale. So depending on how much your commissions are, or how much your your profit is on your product and things like that. So that's the key, is you want to work it out, and then you want to have it somewhere reasonable to where instead of you going out and paying for advertisements, instead of you going out and paying for Google ads or paying for video ads and things like that, what you're able to do is you're able to create this offer, and then you're able to promote it socially. You're able to promote it like, just on giveaways and things like that, like on flyers. Like you're able to create a bit of hype because this is something new, different, and unique that no one else is doing. So when you create an offer that's new, different, and unique, just telling someone about it is informational value, okay? So understand that if we can create an offer, that inside the offer itself, so by us presenting the offer, we are building rapport with people, then what we're able to do is we're able to market it everywhere for free. Because it's only when we're trying to take from people, when we're asking, when we're trying to say, hey, you should buy this, that's when people get pissed off. But if we're telling them about something fun and exciting, they won't get pissed off. Okay. So that's a really good aspect of it. And that's some of the keys to understanding, like, the MVP model, is that, like, it allows us to work differently because we don't have the constraint of requiring resources. We don't need money. Money's not the determining factor in this. The determining factor, okay, and what we need is we need to be in touch with people. We need to be, you know, like able to get our message out. We need traffic, because we've created an offer for the product. So now we need to see how effective is that offer, and then we make that offer better. We fine tune it. We fine tune the product, and we sort of just keep going back and forth with that. At no point in time is money the concern. Okay, money is just the metric. So by us having like a flawless and highly executionable offer, that we're able to, one, communicate at a high level, and two, that we're able to, like, create this, like, understanding or comprehension of the value. So the key isn't for us to demonstrate or explain the value. Okay, the key is for us to get them to comprehend, what does it mean. And we do that through stories. We do that through, demonstrations. So it's not that we have to go out there, because, like, for example, if I'm in love with a girl, right, by me saying, hey, I am so in love with you, I love you, you are the only one, that's the wrong move, because it doesn't do anything. I'm not doing anything. Like, you've got to show people through your actions. Okay. So through your doing. So when you have a conversation with them, if you have a conversation with them that is based on an outcome, like a specific, I want to say this, I need to say that. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to push people away, because they will feel how curated it is, or how like how much you're in control of it. Okay. And then it creates an imbalance in the control. So we don't want that. Okay. What we want to do is we want to have this control that balances between. So when they're talking, they're up. When we're talking, we're up. And it's just this dance between, to where we're just having this really good, natural flowing conversation. Okay. So we want our products and our offers to be easily able for us to conversate them to people, instead of trying to present them to people or demonstrate them to people. So we want to conversate in the way of, hey, did you know about this product? This is the sort of, benefits of it. These are some of the instances where I've actually seen, Tom, Dick, and Harry, they bought, these cars, and rah, rah, rah. And then this problem happened, but they'd created, like, they'd bought into this, after sales care that had a specific, paint protection agreement or something like that in it. You know what I mean? And that saved them $2,500 each over one thing, So something like that, where it's not about you trying to forcefully demonstrate, but you just sort of, like, excitedly telling them, you're at the, as Jordan Belfort says, like, it's that bottled enthusiasm where, like, you just can't wait to, like, tell them, but you've still got it under control, and you're still calm, collected, you're emotionally balanced. Okay. So that's one of the keys that we're looking for, especially in our offers. We want something that's exciting, something that gets people to really just go, like, and take a double look, to go, what was that? So one thing you can do, and that is really popular, is giving out the value and then giving out today's price. So value 2,000, today's price 200. You know what I mean? 90% discount. That's a cool way because that can show, because it's like, for example, if I was an investment broker, okay, and you came to me for investment advice, and I gave you 5 shares to invest in, and those 5 shares all went up 1,000%. Okay. Now, if they went up 1,000%, and let's say you had $1 million and you had 100,000 in each, you know what I mean? Like if you came to me for that advice and I said, it's going to be $200 million for this advice because you're going to make 800 million out of it or whatever it is, like what you go to me, no way. You'd go, why would I do that? Like I don't have 200 million to give. So the thing is that when we're asking someone, or when we're saying to someone, this is how much I want before I do what I do for you, we're not actually able to ask the true value of what we're actually doing for them. Okay, so that's why it's not unfair for us to put a true value in what we actually charge. Do you understand? Like it's not that we're being deceptive and trying to say like we're worth millions of dollars, but we're only going to charge you pennies today because that's how good we are. We don't need to charge anything. No, that's not what you want to do, because the thing is the price determines the commitment of the buyer, but it also determines the value that they put onto it. So always set your price to be fair, but also highly representative of your value, because you don't want to take on business that you're undercharging for, because they're the clients that don't respect you, that don't do what you say, that, they don't listen, and they just cause dramas. And then as soon as one thing goes wrong, they just throw their hands up in the air and say, you've got to fix this, you've got to fix this. So the thing is what we want to do is, if we're going to have those people, charge through the nose. Like you want to have your if you're doing, for example, consulting or something, like you want to have your consulting services charged like at a fair value price. You always want to be market fair, because we don't want to overcharge, because then then we're trying to tell them what the value is. So we want to keep it to somewhere where it's it's just understood. Yeah, that's fair value. You'll notice this whenever you go to get quotes these days, that some businesses will just quote you what it is. It's just that it's not so much that they're not in it for money. It's just that they just charge what's fair. And then other businesses, they'll have all these little added extras that they put in to bump up the price, and they're trying to overcharge for something that you like they put unnecessary things in. So that's the thing, is if we're adding into the offer unnecessary products or services just to bump up the price, and they're not related, or they're not associated, or they don't hold value to the overall cohesion of the offer, or the sort of the structure of the offer, because we want it to all be congruent. We want the offer to have everything in there, sort of that we want to have the main product, and then we want to have some supporting offers or products that are that sort of, it's sort of like you go to Macca's, you order a burger. Do you want fries with that? Why do they ask you that? Because if you're having a burger and you've got fries, it adds to the experience. Do you want a drink? Yeah, that adds to the experience. Now you look on it at the other end, and now you see that if we have the burger, here's X profit. And then we add fries in, here's Y profit. And then we add we add the drink in, here's Z profit. So now instead of just getting X, we're getting XYZ. So we're able to increase the purchase price for the the customer, from an average of around, I think it was $4 up to around $8 to $9. So, or whatever it was with Macca's, but that's what we're looking at, right? And what you want to do is you want to be true, fair, and value. So, or true, fair, and honest. Like, don't add things in just for the sake of making it look shiny, for the sake of making it sound authentic, or for the purposes of just bumping up the perceived value. Okay, what we want to add in is we want to add in things that are going to get people excited. We want to add in things that are going to add to their outcome, things that are small products or services that are going to give them compounding results should they use them with the main product. Yeah. So like if we were selling body lotion, then we could also have a sample of skincare, a sample of, just different things like that. Alrighty. So what I'm going to talk to now is how do we implement this theory? Okay. And how do we effectively use this theory? Because what we have to understand is how do we create this MVP product or business or service, okay? But also, so we've got that, we've set it up, we're 2 months in. How do we continue to innovate, but also remain true to the core values of the MVP principles? Okay, so we gotta understand that, if we launch a product and it gets massive success, we're not going to go out and then stop following the MVP principles and just go, oh, we're going to start wasting money now. Okay, like many businesses do. Okay, they have a strategy that gets them success, and as soon as they get success, they just turn on the heels and do something completely different, and it's retarded. Like, I don't understand how restaurants and the quality of food has gone down in terms of, fast food restaurants or franchises that started off with really good products, and then they became hugely successful, and then they decided to go for the cost-cutting products rather than remaining to the high-quality products. So what got them to the success, they now abandon. Don't do that. That's stupid. Okay? Remain true to what gets you success. Figure out what are the things that cause your business or your offer or your product or your project to be successful, and then they're your core values. They're your core things that you hold dear. That's what makes you you. That's what gives you the success that you want, that you're driving for. Okay? So you need to be able to implement it, and then once you've implemented it, you need to be able to follow it. Okay? So it's just understanding those beliefs that whenever making a decision, we want to try and find the easiest, simplest, and cheapest solution in terms of outcome. So we want to work out if we want, 100% results in terms of this decision. Okay, there is no mistakes. We cannot have a single mistake in terms of, like, let's say it's in healthcare or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're launching a healthcare product and it's around like medication or medicine or something like that. Okay. We want to make sure that product's quality is at 100% regardless of anything. Like that's the main determining factor. So when we're talking about simple, cheap, easy, effective, efficient, okay, we're talking about that in relation to the outcome that we want. So for us to get 100% results, okay, and have it infallible in terms of we don't want to be killing people, okay, so if we have it at 100%, it's what is the simplest way we can get 100% results? What is the easiest way we can get 100% results? What is the cheapest way we can get 100% results? It's not what is the easiest, cheapest, and simplest way to get the product out, but it's we set the quality that we want, and then we work out what is the cheapest, easiest way for us to hit that quality. Okay. So it's not that we're looking to spend as little as possible, but we're looking to spend as little as possible in relation to our outcome. So we have to make sure that we're hitting that quality. Okay. And if the product doesn't hit that quality, we're back to the drawing boards and we have to improve and implement. Okay. So it's not that we want to just try and do the, the price loss leader and go for the race to the bottom. Okay. We want to pick where we want to be, and then we want to figure out how to get there as effectively and easily as possible. Okay. All right. So ways I improve on this thesis, all right, for my own gain. So like how I use this in my life, okay, comes to any decision making that I do or anything. And it's that my natural response is always to want to go and try and make the most complex, beautiful thing out there, right? But that's not effective. Okay. I want to go and plan for 2 months before I take the action, but that's not effective. So it's a way that I use this strategy to be able to push myself outside of my comfort zone and build up enough momentum before fear sets in, before I start second guessing myself, before, all of that happens. So the thing is that for me, it's really important to understand on how to do things like immediately, like in Google speed. Okay. So how do we have thought to product like that, just from one thought to another? Okay. But what I also do is I also make sure that I don't add in steps. I don't go adding in thought to product and then add in 42 different steps that I've got to hit. I set 4 or 5 milestones that if I'm hitting them, I'm moving towards my goal. Okay. And then what I do is I then work backwards, okay, so we've got the overall view, which is thought, product, okay, and then we've got the next view, which is the next level down, which is milestones to achieve product. Okay, so there's getting a sample product, selling first, order amount. So set a target of how many you want to sell in your first run, and then hitting that. So if it's 10,000 units, when you hit 10,000 units, you've achieved that, right? What are the other things? Building out socials, building out marketing, building out the business, like building out supply chains, logistics chains. Okay, so these are the big milestones. And then we come down one further. And then there's all the requirements or actions that we have to take to achieve those milestones. And then we come down further, and there's all the steps that we have to take on the day-to-day to achieve it. And that's where we live. Okay. So we're able to go up and see the big picture, but we're focused on what are we doing now in this moment, day to day, that's moving us towards that overall goal. Okay. So when we need to, okay, when there's anything that's going wrong or we're not getting anywhere, and we're starting to see negative results, that's when we move up and we just, jump a little higher on the mountain, and we have a look around and we go, well, we're trying to reach this milestone, but we're not reaching it, and we're seeing negative results in our actions. Why would that be? And let's have a look at what's influencing it. Okay. So that really allows me to effectively understand, where am I at in relation to my goal? What do I have to do day to day to get to my goal? How do I set up a path? How do I create new paths? How do I find a path? How do I find help along the path and all of that? Like, it gives you the ability to make decisions effectively, clearly, and concisely. We want clarity when we make decisions, but we also want to know, where are we going, and what direction are we facing right now? Because we don't want to go forward if we're facing backwards. So we want to really, where are we? Where are we going? So are we going north or south? East or west? Okay. And you got to make it that simple. Don't freaking overcomplicate it, and don't say, oh, I need this, that, and that. No, keep it fucking simple. Like, overcomplicating it is stupidity. When we are trying to achieve what we want to achieve, take thought out of it. Your thoughts will lie to you. Your thoughts will get in the way of your success. You already know what needs to be done. You don't need to think about it. Thinking about it only creates fear, only creates, hesitation. And the only reason that is because the majority of people only think about the negatives. They don't think about the positives. So if you're someone that is thinking about the positives on ways it can go well, and you're only focusing on that, that's good. But you still shouldn't think. Okay, just do what feels natural, do what you feel you need to do, and don't worry about failure. Okay. So how do you measure, or how do I measure and set the rules of this game? Because it is just a game. Whenever we're doing anything, don't think of it as being anything serious but a game. Okay. So if we're launching a product, it's the game of launching a product. So what are the rules to the game of launching a product? Well, first we have to create a product. What is a product? Let's define it, and then we got to figure out, like, well, who is buying that product? What do they want in a product? What do they need in a product? What do they look at? All these different things, and they're the rules of the games. Okay, because the rules of the games are what set up the activities that we have to take. Okay, so we're just creating the fun rules, but what it also does is it allows us to detach that emotion. Okay, because we're not emotional to kicking a ball around, even though many men may feel that way. If you literally go out into a field and you kick a ball and it makes you emotionally shift, and you're just absolutely like, you've got, enlightenment to the universe for kicking a ball, by all means. But the activity of playing football doesn't. It's the social, that's what gives the emotional. It's the activity of having other people involved. Okay, so don't ever let someone lie to you and say what it is what gives them the passion. Being in nature isn't what gives you the passion for being in nature. Okay, like just the aspect of you being around trees and dirt. It's not that. It's all the different things. It's the smells. It's the aromas. It's the temperature. Like, it's all these different little aspects that encompass it. Okay, so that's what the rules are. The rules are all the little things that encompass what we're trying to do. So, how to define the rules of your game. Like you are the one that creates it. So if you're creating a new product or a new service or something like that, or a new business, like, you're the one defining, okay, if you buy this product, this is the result you get. You're the one defining, this is how we talk to our customers. This is how we do everything. Okay. So you're the one defining the rules and really working to, like, set rules, or set your intentions in your business to be in your strengths, not in your weaknesses. Try and take everyone else who wants to compete with you out of their comfort zone into your comfort zone. So just remember that when you're setting up the rules, like, make sure it's personal in that sense, that you're setting something up so that, like, it's easier for you to compete than any challenger. Alrighty. So the next part of the theory, or what I'm going to talk about, is understanding multi-layered thinking. So multi-level thinking. Okay. And what we want to do is, by understanding this, we want to be able to identify trends, niches, or opportunities that others haven't seen. Or on the other end, we want to be able to see what negative events could happen based on multi-layered things. So what we're looking at, okay, and I'll sort of get this to you, but we'll take the shirts idea. Okay, so on one level we got brands, okay, and then we've got the brand, right? So we're competing on branding. So So what we're looking at is we're looking at emotional connection to brand awareness, content creation, all of that, all of our marketing, right? So this is how we're presenting the brand, or how we're building in the brand so that people know about us, right? And then we've got under the brand, then we've got the product, then we've got the content, then we've got, the groups that they're in, current content that they're seeing, current brands that they're using. Do you understand? Like we're finding these different sort of, they're their own areas, okay? So each of them are their own individual like ecosystems where they have their own set variables and principles and practices and ways of interacting and things like that. So what we want to do is we want to be able to look across a multitude of different situational circumstances, or different like what I call it is just different levels. Okay. So different levels of thinking, different ways of thinking, okay, different perspectives. And what we want to do is we want to be able to look across a large amount of them so that we're able to identify what are the trends between them. Okay, what are the similarities that they have? What are the differences? How do they respond to those similarities in each way? Okay, and then that's how we curate the product and the marketing to hit all those groups. So that's understanding multi-layered thinking. What we're looking at is we're looking at like to the naked eye, these are unrelated environments. Unrelated environments, or unrelated, I don't know, let's call it situations, right? Or perspectives. And what we're doing is we're trying to look at enough information in each of them so that we can see where they actually are related. So they may on the surface look unrelated, but when we take 2 or 3 steps deeper, we might just see a little tendril that goes off that relates it to another thing. And then we're able to see, well, that's what binds that to that. Now, what about to another one? Okay, so when we're talking about, for example, take groups, when we're looking to promote a brand, right? So we're looking for groups, but what we want to do is we want to identify a buyer, right? And then we want to do multi-layered thinking into those buyers, right? So that we're able to see, where do they all congregate? How do they talk to each other? How are they currently presented information? How do they react to that information or respond to it? You know what I mean? And then we're able to do that across a multitude of different group settings. So different styles of groups that all relate to the same thing, but in different ways that we didn't know, right? So for example, hiking and travel. Like on face value, you wouldn't think people who, are really big into hiking would, oh, never mind. That was a stupid one. But you know what I'm saying? Like you don't see the direct link because all you see are the differences at face value. So the thing is that when you look deeper, you start to see where things align to. So where they relate. And what we're able to do with that is, now that we know that these groups, right? So we're able to create now an even more detailed understanding of a group of buyers. Okay, so all the linked groups that are linked, okay, and then that becomes one cluster. And then we find all the other groups that are linked by another thing, that becomes another cluster. And then what we do is, dependent on the cluster, we customize the messaging to them. Okay, so we can do broad messaging, then we can do highly customized. Okay, so you understand how multi-layered thinking allows us to now create an opportunity that you couldn't see before. All right. So what you need to do is, to understand this theory, you need to practice it. To understand this theory, you need to live it. Okay, so it's about changing your thought patterns changing and shifting the way you, one, consume information, two, process that information, but three, also conclude outcomes and actions to be taken. Okay, so like the key is that you want to look at, set what result I want, work backwards from there on how do I get it as simple, easy, and cheap as possible, okay, to get that result. So result is the number one priority, okay, in terms of like we don't want to lower the result. We don't want to settle for less than the result, okay? And then what we want to do is, once we have, you know, the actions that are going to get us to that result, then we have our actions. Okay, so the actions that get us to that result are the milestones. And then we have the actions that we have to take to achieve the milestones, and they become our measurement metric. So this is how we measure it, is by doing this, then we look at the next level up and see, are we getting closer or further away? Okay, and that's how you measure it. Alrighty. So manipulating the environment for your benefit. This is something about, like, understand that your environment conditions you and you condition your environment. Okay, so if you're around negative people and you're listening to negative information and you're being conditioned negatively by your environment, your internal state will be negative. Okay, so just in the same, by you taking actions to focus on positive in terms of who you're around and all of that, you're now conditioning that environment that in return conditions you. So that the more stable your environment, okay, the more stable you feel. So you've conditioned your environment to condition you to feel something different. So understand that. And what we want to do is we want to understand, well, one, how do we condition that environment? Okay. And then like in general terms, like, how do we set up a good environment? How do we live in a space that we want to live in? Like, in terms of our external environment in our day-to-day is supportive of where we want to get to and what we want to achieve. Okay. And then it's, well, how do we add new things in? So for example, one way to manipulate your environment is, when you've got a good environment, like external environment set up, it's reaching out and getting mentors, getting people who are further down the track than you that can come in, and what can they do? Well, they can give you more or expand your understanding of your environment, or the richness of your environment, or the quality of your environment with new information. So they can expand you so much. Do you understand? And by you taking the action to seek them, you are now artificially manipulating your environment for your benefit. So understand that. Understand how to manipulate your environment. That's a very powerful one, and that's sort of where I'm going to leave it today. So this has just been a bit on basically the framework of the MVP, and feel free to use it. It's an amazing strategy that makes it easy and effortless for you to achieve your dreams, and do it nimbly too, and easily. All right, well, you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. See ya.